let's talk about the crashes, because there was something, I think, not just the crashes, because let's talk about the crashes. I think, a learning point, I feel, and I think maybe a lot of others might feel, from Formula E, because let's go back to, the free practice crash with Eduardo Mortara, which then caused Venturi and Mercedes not to participate in qualifying due to some braking issue that hadn't been resolved, or software glitch that needed to be resolved in the braking. But for me, everybody watched Eduardo Mortara go straight on and hit the wall. And there was absolutely no sort of coverage on it. It was oh, Eduardo Mortara said, "Oh, that's a bad one," and the Formula E didn't really know what to do in that situation. And we sort of, because of practice, it's only they only speak for 5 minutes after the show. And I feel like at that point that was a poor decision, because we were left on a massive cliffhanger, knowing whether or not Eduardo Mortara, and everyone's then jumping onto social media, right, to find out, is Eduardo Mortara okay? Has something bad happened? Everyone asking unbelievably questions. Oh my God, they didn't show anything because, so that means something really bad has happened. And people just jump, and quite rightly so. Some people will jump to the worst conclusion because we know now from Formula One, after Jules Bianchi, if something is not shown, this is pretty serious, right? So I felt like Formula E should have, made something aware, and maybe ended the show with a statement saying, right, about if Eduardo Mortara is okay, if he's not okay, what's going on. But I felt like it was just completely glossed over, and nothing was then said, and we didn't know. But, if they cut to a shot of Eduardo Mortara getting out of the car, even if he's walking gingerly, right? We know, okay, he's hurt, but he's okay, right? He's not going to perish from this. And it was the same, I think, Jack, with the Alex Lynn crash, right? Red flag, right? We haven't really seen the incident for the red flag, okay? Not much is going on. We now know that Alex Lynn slid on the ground upside down into the wall, right? That's what we know, okay? So, let's put it this way. The medical team are not going to keep Alex Lynn upside down in his car for 10-15 minutes, right? They're not. So, we had a podium celebration, and people were on Twitter how can you have this podium celebration, which looks so celebratory, but we haven't seen if Alex Lynn is okay. We haven't had any mention of Alex Lynn being okay. We haven't seen Alex, but we're all celebrating he's fine. There's no problem here, nothing to see here. Let's enjoy our podium, and let's say bye, and so forth. Right, and I feel like there must have been a shot in that time, but the crash had happened, the safety car, the whole 2 minutes, then getting into Parc Ferme, then doing the interviews, then getting onto the podium. There must have been a shot to see if Alex Lynn was out of the car and walking. There must have been something to check, because in my honest opinion, I think with the state of the accident, it was a bad accident, but I don't think it was that bad of an accident, if that makes sense. I feel like the survival cell and everything that the Formula E car did its job. So I think we've seen worse crashes than that in Formula E and in other motorsport series. In hindsight, I think he would have been okay, and I think he would have got out. And I think because we never saw that shot of him out and okay, a lot of people, Jack, took to social media after the race, going absolutely crazy, thinking that, oh my God, we nearly lost Eduardo Mortara. Now we don't know about Alex Lynn. What the hell is going on? When maybe just a shot, maybe just something, to say Alex Lynn is okay. Here he is. All is good. And then we go on with our lives.
Yeah, there was, if I remember correctly, there was a mention, Jack said, whilst Sam was walking to the podium, that Alex was being rushed off to hospital, but he was okay. But that was all we really got. And yeah, I'm with you on the Eduardo Mortara thing. It was like come back in an hour to find out whether Eduardo's okay. It wasn't kind of it wasn't really in keeping in terms of the proper feel of what was happening. The Eduardo Mortara crash actually made me think about Carlos Sainz's accident in Russia in practice. I think in 2015 when he just went into the wall and went underneath the barriers. And yeah, that was a weird one. But I think the main thing to take away from these is that they are freak accidents. That they are unlikely to be repeated again, and the Mercedes cars were allowed to take part in the race, which meant that the powertrains had been fixed and they'd been cleared by the FIA. They were safe to run, but with the extended runoff time with the race broadcast ending at 1:30. I think there would have been enough time to go like, okay, look away now if you don't want to see this, but yeah, this is more or less what. But then again, actually, there wasn't actually any camera footage of that. It was CCTV, wasn't it? So it was CCTV and one marshal on his phone or something like that. There was no real footage that they could grab of it. So they were only able to post it when they'd actually got the CCTV camera out in the end. But yeah, no, I think the main thing to take away from these were freak accidents. I think it's unlikely for both of them to happen again at any point. But yeah, the main thing is that both Edo and Alex are okay and they'll be back for Rome.
Yeah, for me, seeing the crash isn't important, right? It's just that shot of, even if it is Alex Lynn up, getting in an ambulance, being seen by a doctor, right? And someone getting a camera down there, you know, worst comes to worst, you send a cameraman down there to try and catch a glimpse of him, and they go, dude, you know, this ain't good, right? And then you go, right, that's fine. But if there's a chance to get a shot of him up and well, sitting there, it just puts so many people, I feel, at ease. And I feel like that was just missed, and I feel like a real missed opportunity. And it's just something I think Formula E should learn, because it was so hard to like go through Twitter and see so many people unsure, questioning, and just stop all of that. A simple shot could stop all of that. If there's no shot, then we know something's proper up, and we're sending all our thoughts and prayers, right? But it was like leaving us on a cliffhanger and not coming back till Rome in 6 weeks' time, and like what? Like, when are we gonna find out? Like, how are we gonna know? Like, and then you're just obsessed looking at your computer screen waiting to find out information, when really and truly the information was already there that he was okay and he was fine and he was taken to hospital which ended up probably being precautionary checks, right? Just to check that there was nothing broken, and just a couple of x-rays here and there just to see if everything was okay, and everything was fine. That's probably what happened, right? In the short term, or in what actually happened. But it felt like it could have been so much worse, and I just feel like we didn't need that.